Welcome back to the Crypto is Key conversation. And I don't know what it was. I told myself that I would record this video a little bit later than I normally do, thinking, I'm not going to hear any noise. I don't got my boys with me today. I can get some stuff done literally as I start recording or finish gathering the information I want to talk about. The dang leaf blowers outside start blowing. So hopefully that doesn't come through the mic here. But we got some interesting stuff we're going to cover in this. We're going to start with this video clip here from DAI. And he says he knows what's coming. So we're going to take a listen into this really quick.
We've started to see the active addresses rising. We're starting to see activity rising, as we should be at this stage in the cycle, the crypto spring. We're starting to see people come out of hibernation, start exercising those muscles again, but we're not operating across everywhere. So we're seeing, NFTs dead as a doornail, but we're starting to see more activity in Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin's great because it has huge value transacted. ETH has a lot more transactions, but they're lower in economic value, just the nature of the chains. So this is really, and XRP, really interesting, is because it has very low value transactions, but a lot of them. They all work out, all of these work out roughly.
So, it's crazy because it's like we've been covering on this channel over a year and a half now, the whole ETHgate stuff, the lawsuit from the SEC, and just, other stuff that's going on within the industry. And I've been in the crypto space since late 2017. It's crazy because you never hear as many big names within the industry talking about the digital asset XRP, man. And now you have, everyone coming out of the woodworks talking about XRP. And I know the gentlemen have talked about it before, and, he's not an idiot. He's very intelligent and does very well for himself. But it's just interesting to see, the narrative start shifting, man. It's crazy. Even like the likes of like Charles Hawkinson, asking for, in a sense, a peace treaty with the XRP community after he called this grand conspiracy people, if you will. But it's crazy, the narrative shifting, and obviously with the countdown to the SEC versus Ripple case coming, a lot of people are getting more optimistic about what lies ahead, and not just for the price action of XRP and future price discovery and all that stuff and the growth of Ripple, but just like the impact that it can have on the entire crypto space in general. There's a lot of good stuff coming. So he had mentioned Bitcoin and its value and kind of how it's being seen, and that's going to carry into some of the conversations we're going to have moving forward. But actually, no, before I do that, let me go ahead and come over here and make sure I cover it. Where's it at? So this is an interesting video clip here, and shout out RizXRP. I saw this video, I want to say the other day. It says HODL, all by design XRP. But what's interesting about what this lady says, it goes into what we talk about on this channel about, it's not just about, the narrative that, Chairman Gensler and the incumbents are trying to portray, if you will. A big factor in several factors that are a part of this and several variables that are part of this whole scandal that we talk about on this channel of them trying to control it is custodying and being the go-to platforms that, that the everyday person can go to and, buy their digital assets and their crypto and have that same platform custody their stuff. She literally says it within this clip. So we're going to take a quick listen into this and kind of, do with it what you will.
Just long held and simple norms about how you treat customer assets, for example. And what I think crypto is here to stay. I think what's happened is clearly a setback. But right now, I actually think it's a huge opportunity for the incumbent financial firms to actually take the lead.
The ones that are already regulated.
That's what it's always been about. That's one of the major components right there. What did they say? If you miss the boat, then dang, you missed the boat if you're an everyday person, right? But if the people are get used to the powers out there and the 1% of the 1%ers and the people that have a lot of capital out there, right? If they miss the boat, they just turn that bad boy around, you know what I'm saying? So they can get on and be a part of the show, if you will. And literally, she just stated the whole narrative right there.
Regulated and run, for example, regulated exchanges.
Yeah, and know how to segregate client assets and yeah. So I think that is what's going to happen. On kind of
Wouldn't that be ironic though, given the disruption that crypto promised?
Yeah, there is some irony to it, and I'm yeah, it is ironic, but I think that is going to be the evolution.
According to Don, this SEC assault is a huge opportunity for the incumbents. When she says incumbent, she means the big banks. Notice that she gives Gary Gensler's argument almost verbatim. Exchanges are commingling funds and there's a need to segregate client assets. Well, the legacy banks, the incumbents, are already equipped to handle such tasks. There's a reason Gensler did a 180 from teaching blockchain at MIT to parroting the incumbents. This downturn in crypto is for them to make their move, to cause destruction and swoop in. They control the SEC. She laughs at the idea of an ironic outcome. They love inversions. Down with the banks. The freedom of decentralization is now going to merge with the centralized powers that be.
So here's something that really hits home with me with this segment in this clip here. The wild thing about this whole narrative and them trying to get a bigger piece of the pie and them, causing havoc and destruction within the markets to scoop up our digital assets at lower prices. That happens in all markets. And Charles Payne and JD had an interview, I want to say like a year and a half ago, where they covered that stuff and they talked about that. Like, it's nothing new, right? Obviously, we all know that. Here's the thing that's wild, though. It's like, I can't stand when they act as if like everyone else is dumb and incapable. Kind of goes with that whole, if you're not an accredited investor, you're not smart enough to invest in these, these private share rounds of companies and startups and all that stuff. And obviously they were trying, and they might still be trying to do it to where they're trying to make, this space to where you have to have a certain threshold of income or assets and stuff to even partake in this space, right? I mean, who knows what the outcome's going to be, but the fact to say that someone else is dumb or incapable or not qualified enough to invest their hard-earned money after they, work their butts off to earn that money, to pay their taxes, to pay their monthly bills, to invest. It blows my mind. And then to say like these great minds and these entrepreneurs and these builders within the crypto space and these exchanges and these platforms don't have the capabilities of, pretty much doing what they say the incumbents do, right? They've been regulated and then they have history of this in handling customer assets and all these different things, right? Why can't, these entrepreneurs and these people, these like-minded people that are trying to build in the crypto space have the same thing, right? The biggest thing that we need is we need a roadmap. We need guidelines. We need something that allows these entrepreneurs and these builders to follow the law, follow the rules so they could do things the right way and build. But no, they're saying, no, you guys, you haven't been here. You're not a part of the club. You're not smart enough. That's what blows my mind, man. I can't stand it. And it literally reminds me of like the whole richer get richer and the poor get poorer. And it's not like some victim thing. I can't stand when people use it as like a victim thing. It's not. It's just like, dude, level the playing field. Like, I'm smart enough to blow off my money investing in something dumb just like the next person, right? What I mean by that is like we can go to, the casino and throw it all on black. No problem, right? We can do that all day long. But it's like we can't invest our hard-earned money into other things. And that's just like, obviously one variable in the whole non-leveling the playing field when it comes to everyday investors versus like the people that are, part of the club, if you will. But I don't know. I don't know why I get so irritated with that stuff, man. People are very highly capable within this space, man. And all we're looking to do is have a fair shot. We want to educate ourselves, take our educated risk, and change the financial future and financial course of our lives for our families. And that's just real. Anyways, rant over. This is from JD. He's responding to XRP wing Commander Porkins. It says, if the verdict goes against Ripple and the judge says XRP is a security, could we find that more XRP holders join the case that are suing Ripple in Oakland, California, rather than waiting for an appeal via a Supreme Court decision around the year 2030? Excuse me. And then JD says, if Ripple loses to the SEC, there won't be any money collected for years, and only if Ripple loses on appeal. If the Supreme Court takes it on appeal, which I believe they will if Congress hasn't acted by then, I believe Ripple hands down wins the Supreme Court. If the SEC wins, Ripple will appeal, and the status quo that exists today will continue over the next 2 to 5 years. Assuming the SEC wins and the civil case lawyers get a win because the judge in California falls Judge Torres' ruling, Ripple will appeal the case as well, and there will be no money for years, if ever. 5 years from now, if Ripple loses all the appeals, the SEC would then collect the money, i.e. $1.3 billion, not the civil plaintiffs. The SEC would then offer a payback, a fund for XRP holders to sell their XRP. That this is what happened in Veritasium, If I were the plaintiff's attorney in the civil case, I would want the SEC to lose because the SEC winning will gut the damages for the civil case. Ironically, if there was a recovery, XRP holders would get more money from the SEC fund because in the civil case of the lawyers will get between 25 to 35% of the recovery for attorney's fees before the costs of the case are deducted from the fund. Jeez. Being on the 75,000 list is actually a good thing because a massive putative class of XRP holders is easily identifiable. By joining the class list, I put out no one waived anything whatsoever by joining the list. In fact, if there was ever any money for XRP holders from the civil case or the SC case, I'd likely be contacted because you have to give notice of the recovery to XRP holders, and I'm in possession of the list of 75,000. You must ignore the morons out there who claim by joining the 75,000 list and arguing XRP isn't security is a bad thing if there is one day a monetary recovery for XRP holders. These morons have no idea what they're talking about. A person can believe that the asset they own isn't a security, but if that person is wrong because of a judge in appellate court says otherwise, you don't get punished for being wrong. If there was a fund that allowed you to sell your XRP to the SEC or back to Ripple because of the civil lawsuit, you would not be denied because you joined the list saying otherwise. Anyone else who tells you different is an idiot. He concludes, but the reality is I doubt the civil case leads to anything. If the SEC wins in the end, it would collect the most money and offer the best option, ironically. Also, if Ripple loses and Congress fixes the regulatory mess during the 5 years of appeals, it all goes away anyway. Bottom line, being on the list didn't waive anything, and if anything, it identified your claims, if you have any, long ago. So, I mean, I guess he's kind of trying to nip some stuff in the bud. He goes down here and goes through this, response to a bunch of people kind of responding to his threat. So I highly recommend you come in and shout out JD for always fighting the good fight. This next one I thought was interesting. It's from Meta Lawman. It says SEC versus Coinbase case. 1. BlackRock filed an application for a spot Bitcoin ETF naming Coinbase as the custodian. 2. Larry Fink says he wants to democratize crypto. Question: will BlackRock file an amicus brief in support of Coinbase motion to dismiss the SEC case? Which I think is highly interesting. I mean, why wouldn't they, right? I mean, wouldn't they want to defend them and strengthen Coinbase's position within litigation? I'm curious, or do they even have to, right? We talk about BlackRock and Larry Fink being this all-inclusive and powerful, well-connected entity, if you will. Maybe they just made a phone call to Chairman Gensler and said, hey, here's what's happening. We're doing this, this, and this, and we need this to run through. Maybe they made their phone calls and those other people reached out to Chairman Gensler. I mean, who knows? But I thought this was an interesting point. Like, will they file an amicus brief in support of Coinbase? What I want to cover here. Okay, yeah, these last few ones right here. I thought this was interesting right here. This is from Cypress Demoninker. The gentleman speaking on the Frankfurt Digital Finance 2023 conference literally just confirms that the mainstream media does not cover all the positive developments going on in crypto. Let's listen in.
The venture capital investments seen in the past 2 years. A lot of crypto companies, especially on the infrastructure side, they have received a lot of funding. They got very, very bright and smart people into the business. They are building stuff. I don't see less activity on the building and the further development of the technology than what maybe is assumed or is perceived by the media. A lot of people think, okay, no, there's nothing going on anymore at the moment, but no, it's not the case. I mean, we have seen the...
Which that brings me up to my next point. Let me see what I have right here. So this was an older video clip. I can't remember when exactly it was, but Riz XRP had put this up and he says, are you still a believer, right? So this gentleman right here asked this gentleman, let me see if I get it right. Yeah, asked this gentleman right here, even with all the destruction and havoc, if you will, you're still a believer of, blockchain and crypto, right? And then this gentleman right here responded back saying, well, if we would have been sitting here in 2002 when it came to the internet talking about all the havoc and destruction that happened, and I asked you, are you still a believer? Like, what would you say? And this gentleman was, and the interviewer was like, okay. And he was like, well, yeah, of course I am. And he goes on to talk about, I guess the strengths and where the technology is and how he compares, crypto to the internet. And obviously we know, if you've been following this channel and been a part of the community, the connection, or not connection, we could say correlation, if you will, the growth of the internet versus the growth of the crypto space. I mean, it's astronomical. There's a lot of similarities, and crypto is actually on projection to be, I guess, more adopted, right? At a faster rate, if you will, if I'm not misspeaking here. I can't remember. I remember I put up the Wells Fargo analysis PDF that they had put out, and it was interesting because they had all those charts. We showed it on the channel a long time ago, but obviously crypto, digital assets, blockchain is powerful. The writing's on the wall is here to stay, but I thought it was interesting, man. Like, are you still a believer, even with, outside of everything? I'm sure if you're watching this channel, you're like, oh yeah, of course. I mean, it's just a matter of when, not if. And I'm under that same logic. I thought this was interesting. This from Well Charts. It says, breaking: Twitter Payment LLC just got its first money transmitter license. And then you obviously got a whole bunch of Doge stuff going on. Yeah, I'm curious to see what happens. This whole, are they gonna is Elon Musk gonna change Twitter to X.com? Are they gonna integrate Doge or XRP or Ethereum? Like, what are they gonna do? They're trying to make it like the whole, I think it was like the whole WeChat thing, and all inclusive, one stop shop for everything, right? Curious to see how that unfolds there. Coming over here, we're currently sitting at a $1.22 trillion market cap. Bitcoin sitting at 30,301. Ethereum sitting at 1883. XRP sitting just below 47 cents. Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index is sitting at a 56. Man, that's what I have for you, though, man. I didn't expect this one to be that long. But make sure you come to the Crypto is Key Conversations YouTube channel. Subscribe. For also on Twitter at Crypto is Key 1. I really appreciate your support out there, you guys. With all that being said, stay strong out there and be safe.